Hey you guys,
Hello.
It is me and my friend Jene. She is my special guest tonight. I'm super excited. So she was here over the weekend, and she is a big weekend for you. And they're on their way back to Colorado Springs. So for all of our friends that are in Colorado Springs, I got Jene here. So for you guys who don't know, before Brian and I and the kiddos moved here to the DC area, we lived out in Colorado Springs, and there is an amazing writer organization out there called Pikes Peak Writers, and that I ended up meeting some of the friends I'll have forever and most talented writers and amazing people out there. And through all of the people with that, one of the loves I met is Jene. So the reason she's here today is because, hold on one second, you know how I am with this. I'm just making, all right, we're good. It keeps saying it's paused. I might be having technical difficulties. Hi, Faith. All right, so if we're not going to be on here too long, I want to tell you guys about her book. It is the cool concept, and I think you're going to really enjoy learning about it. So hopefully this works like lag today, which normally we don't have. So we'll find out what's going on here.
Where do I look?
All right, so, well, this is what they're going to see. So
Okay.
Anywhere.
All right.
And
Okay.
you'll end up seeing it on here eventually. Okay. So we're really good at this, aren't we? Just leave it. It's working fine. Thank you, Megan. The worst thing is it doesn't seem to be on my side, so I keep messing with it, and then you guys are like, get on with it, lady. Sorry. All right, so the reason I wanted to introduce you guys to Jené Jackson is because she has the coolest book called The Oat Project. And I wanted her to tell you guys a little bit about it, because this is just, so some of you are from my romance world, and then I have so many other friends who are in sci-fi and mysteries and thriller and everything else, and this is something that's totally even different, but this is one of those books that somewhere in here you're going to read yourself, and I think that's pretty powerful when you can write a book. So the first of all, and Megan says, oh, hi, Stacia. Susan Mitchell. Hi, Susan. And thank you, Megan. Also, the cover is back to front. Oh, is it? It's probably reversed for you guys because this is on my phone, so that makes sense. I don't know how to fix that, so you guys are. We'll end up putting a picture up later. All right, so that I don't bore you, why don't you tell us what's the main concept behind your book? How did this come about?
Okay, so if you want to look at kind of movie concepts, it's sort of like the bucket list as a former preacher's daughter and a mom at 37, finally coming of age, doing a lot of things I had never done. Wild things.
So kind of like that sowing your oats that people talk about. She sowed her wild oats at 37? Was that
at
when
37,
it started?
all in 14 weeks.
In 14 weeks. So you want to sow your wild oats in 14 weeks, then this is the book. I mean, and it's funny too, because I remember when I learned about it when it was still in its fetal stages, not the adventures, but the book itself. And they're just everything on her list, you know, it's like you hear it and you're like, oh, and you did that? And you did that? Oh, I can't wait to read it. So it's pretty cool.
It all started because my West Side, like more kind of crazy, cool mom friends found out that I had never been drunk at 37, and they thought that was a travesty, and they decided to throw me a party. And then in the midst of planning the party, they said, well, what else have you never done? And it resulted in a list that was, the original list was 42 things long.
Oh, wow.
And
what did it ended up coming down to?
About 24. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us some of the things on the list that they could expect.
Yeah, so all of you romance writers and readers.
Hi, Shannon.
Definitely check out chapter 3 because it's about reading erotica for the first time.
Veronica's never been drunk either. I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, we have work to do. We'll get that done.
And I think it's one of those things where in her book and from the writing I've read, you definitely be true to yourself. Right? So it's one of those things where some of these experiences are for some of us, and some of the experiences may not be for some of us. Right. And that's okay, because in the end, it's all about what's
and
right
when
for
you don't have, like, when you don't have when you're not sure. You know, I call it throw pasta against the wall stage. Like,
see what sticks.
I had to try these things. I made it into a project because I knew I would be scared of doing them and would chicken out.
I would be. I'm a rule follower, so doing something that is considered possibly not what I should be doing stresses me out a bit. Or sometimes I get in the mood where I don't want you to tell me what to do.
Exactly.
And then I'm going to do
Yeah, likewise.
Brian would be laughing right now.
One of the things that I put way off until the end was skinny dipping, because the rule, the condition was that it had to be in public. It couldn't be like in the mountains in a stream. It had to be in a public space where we could get caught. And in Colorado, the law is that if you get charged and convicted of nudity, public nudity, you get put on the sexual offenders list.
Oh no.
So I put it off. It was one of the last things I did. Yeah, the day before.
That is like where you have lookouts on your lookouts.
Yeah, actually,
make sure.
A little tip.
Hey, Andrea.
Hello.
There's just another hi. So, and Michelle, hello Michelle. She's a beautiful soul. So yeah, so when you did the skinny dipping, did you plan and scope everything out?
Yes, but they all went awry, and we ended up in 18 inches of water. You got to read it. I'm not even going to tell you about it. It was epic. It was like epic with wild animals.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And a public fountain.
Skinny dipping with wild animals.
Yeah. No, I'm not joking.
Oh my
actually,
gosh.
it was amazing.
And then you were saying chapter 3 with the romance writers, because that's about romance books, but then also some.
Well, it's about reading erotica.
Erotica.
So like
Okay. Which there's a difference.
Romances from 5th grade to 12th. My epic night was that I read 8 Harlequins in one night. Because
that's a good night. I've got some fans out there who would think that would be amazing. Hey, Jason.
Yeah. I was in 7th grade.
Hi, Laura.
Stayed through.
Or Lara.
I know.
How funny. Now that I'm reading it, I'm like, I wonder if I say it wrong all the time.
Oh.
I'm just going to call you Hooker. There's a reason. She's the queen hooker. I'll show you why.
Okay.
But go ahead. Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. So I read them, and I would love. Actually, I was going to ask you this before. I always perceived the romance plots, and this is in the book, so you can get mad at me for this. But I always perceived the plot to be: you meet, you hate each other, you end up kissing somehow. One I read, they tripped into an elevator into this man and end up kissing. And then they date and they're happy and they get stuck together somehow. Those are usually interchangeable, like they're either neighbors or boss and employee.
Sure.
And then a third party comes in and messes everything up, and you make assumptions and you don't talk about it. And then a natural disaster comes, and one of them saves the other one. And then you finally say, "That's my sister," and they live happily ever after.
So
I know that's simplistic.
So a romance, and my romance authors will agree, is they're monogamous relationships, and there's different varying degrees. And when you get into erotica and some of the rules change. But for a straight up romance, it's monogamous love that ends up with happy ever after.
Love.
These days, they're incredibly strong heroines. They're and often flawed. I mean, those are the best ones. Flawed heroes, like guys that have so many things going on, but deep down they've got a heart of soul, at least a strong, incredible passion for the woman. So, but there is the main story plot of a romance is the emotional arc of the love. Yeah. So that similarity you see in all the books.
I love it. Yeah.
And then what really will set one book out from the other is all the other secondary plots. Some are thrillers. Yeah. Some are going to have a mystery twist. Some are going to have suspense. Some are going to dive, secondary storyline and tertiary storyline deeps into some sort of backstory or
nice.
You know what I mean? Things that tie together. But you don't talk about it and it doesn't work out, or the natural disasters, those are frowned upon. All editors and agents are going to say, do not let this be something where if they just talked about it, they could have made it better. Right. There are stories out there like that. Shannon, what are your thoughts on the 50 Shades of Grey? Okay, well, we'll answer that in a second. Okay. And Brittany, they know how to handle their biscotti. Brittany Brittany Morgan
Crunchy.
Forby. I love you so much. So they
Crunchy.
know how to handle their biscotti. It's from Seducing the Tycoon.
Oh.
Because Drago, the heroine Chase, saw Drago and was like, I bet he knows how to handle his biscotti.
Yeah, and I pay attention to how they eat an ice cream cone.
That's probably a good thing to know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so you're going to have the similar plots, but the whole natural disaster thing, when something's way too convenient, I think that might be a time when maybe an author, some authors will have meant it, and then some of it, they didn't think the plot out far enough to be able to come up with a way to solve it that was more substantial and more organic.
Which they
and
were
less,
really...
And they changed a lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is 7th grade. So
so romances from the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s and now, like, all straight along, they're so different. Andrea says, MK, what genre do you write in? I'm contemporary romance. And I love, if you guys know me, like, I'm all about the love and being kind and beauty, and romance allows me to kind of surround my life in that. Megan says, I hate books where a 5-minute conversation would have fixed whatever problem.
Right?
I think that was Jene's thing. A lot of her books were like that. Yeah. And I think that there was a period when a lot of books were like that. Obviously.
I do have a little story about the fiction in that chapter. I sent the whole chapter off to a friend of mine, really a person I respect as a writer, and she was just all over it. She said, oh, it's great. It's full of heart. I wanted to keep reading. I did. And then she paused and she said, but I thought I was going to, it was the erotica chapter. Like, I kind of thought there was going to be, and she actually said, a little song, like that.
She wanted a little heat in your book, a
yeah.
little bit of spice, something.
Like, oh, so I wrote something.
And is that in here?
It's a story it's a story that threads through the chapter. And I sent it, and I don't know if Deb Courtney is watching, but I sent it to Deb. Hi, Deb. I sent it to Deb Courtney, and I was so proud of myself.
You're welcome, Andrea. I don't know how I'm saying it wrong.
Everybody find me on Facebook after this.
Yes, Jené Jackson. Look for her on Facebook. I'll put links in the comments, by the way, if you guys are so interested.
Thank you.
Oh, and for her book, too, because you need to look into it more. Yeah. It's amazing. It's out.
Yeah, so she was like, I sent it to Deb, and I was all proud of myself because it was so hot. No, and her response was, oh, it's so sweet and heartfelt.
You're like, what?
And I was like, no,
it is dirty.
It was dirty and hot. She was like, babe, it was sweet and heartfelt. So there's a Band-Aid in the scene, like
sweet and heartfelt is amazing too.
Yeah.
Hi, Sierra.
Yeah.
That's funny. So then did you go back and spice that up in just word choice at all, or did you let it be what it was?
So I mostly let it be. I changed the ending a little bit because I tried to make it weird. And so I made it like Neil Gaiman. I never know how to pronounce that. And with flies. And that
But I remember that story.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing story to tell in person.
Yeah.
That would be hard to put in paper.
Yeah. It was kind of creepy. So I made
It's a good story.
Just sweeter and hotter and
she might have to do a live Facebook post about this story.
Yeah.
Because it's easily to understand like in person, but it's one of those I think it would be a challenge to write.
Yeah. It was
you can do it.
It got really, really weird at the end. But everything that's in the book now is really true.
Andrea.
Ah, nice.
Right? Am I saying that right?
Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Otherwise, you're going to be like...
Thank you, Andrea.
Can't do anything with MK.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay, so what with this book? So you went through different things like smoking, marijuana.
And a cigarette.
And a cigarette. Skinny dipping and reading the erotica, dancing. And you did this all in 14 weeks. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a time you thought you should quit?
Yes.
And
I
how
had 3
did
kids.
you... and I
was married. So, both.
So that can make some of it a challenge, especially if not everybody might be on board, or just life gets in the way and it makes some of these things hard. What made you keep going?
So one of the things... I'll answer both in a way. So one of the things that made me almost quit is I lost some friends. They didn't agree with what I was doing.
Because did they have similar strict upbringings?
Some of them, and then some of them kind of kind of disdained their youth, the mistakes. And I can understand that. I kind of feel the same way about my lack of questioning. I wish I had been stronger. And
were they worried then that you were going to be making these mistakes, but as an adult? Okay.
Yeah. My brother once said, and this is in the book, when he told me that all these kids at my college...
Just remember that one.
Yes, will do. I said, why didn't I know about this, that this was happening at my little Christian college? And he said, you were in a bubble and we all liked you that way.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that happened a bit. And when your friend starts acting like you don't think they are,
then it shakes everybody up.
And I kept doing it because I just knew that I had to do I made a promise, I made it into a project to overcome the fear. I had panic attacks all the time. My kids were 7, 4, and 1. So 7.5, 4.5, and 1.5. And I wasn't going to do like hitchhiking because
or something that would put you in, right, like a danger in that kind of way. So Megan wants to know, was there anything you did that you regretted afterwards?
Ooh. Gosh.
That tequila?
That was much later.
Oh, was okay. That wasn't even part of it.
Yeah, much later. I'm still a horrible drinker.
Sowing your wild oats leads to tequila.
Right. I'm a very fun drinker. But, yeah,
It doesn't have to have a yes
really
answer.
Interesting because there were a couple of things that were just kind of not flops, but just disappointments. And one of those, like, oddly enough, was going to this really small club, and there was practically no one there, and the band, and it was just a letdown. But I actually realized that it was like real. That's how going out to live music is.
Then that's how it could be. So. And then the other question was, when you felt like quitting, what was it that kept you going?
Yeah.
And then we'll let you guys go here soon. I know you all have lives to get to.
Right. The takeaway is that it's like I knew that I had to get better about facing fear because I had panic attacks several times a week and more doing this, and the trigger was always death. But even my youngest really, really difficult birth, like It's a Miracle He Lived, didn't solve that. It didn't take it away. And that really surprised me, and I felt like I had to push all the boundaries I had been told, the things that I had been told would make my life fine. Like, avoid those and you'll be good.
Right.
I was a Nazarene preacher's daughter, so no, anything wild. And I just went and did everything that not everything, but a lot of stuff that they said that I would go straight to hell for. And so...
Almost, it's like facing those fears to gain the strength you needed.
And I did. I had a massive panic attack this one night, and I didn't have panic attacks for 2 years. And,
hi, Judy.
Not saying that it's like a self-help book. It's a story. But it's all straight from my journals back then.
And I think books like that, though, always, it might not be classified as a self-help, but when we read these kinds of books of somebody else's journey, and when you know that you're going to see yourself in there somewhere, and you see what they learned, what their fears are, you can relate to that, and it all can help somebody learn a little bit of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people multiple things. Michelle, you are so nice, and I'm such a big dork. She actually brings the class in calm and cool tonight, which is good. I appreciate. And I had a question I wanted to ask you too, and now my brain's farting on me.
It's okay. I'll talk and then you'll think of it. Right?
Yes. Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
So it's called the Oat Project by Jené Jackson, and it says, how I faced my fear and finally came of age in one wild summer. I know that it shows the cover backwards for you, but it's a beautiful cover. I know. One thing I want to talk about, Jene has this amazing tattoo that you can see even on the cover. It winds all the way around and up and around her body. I know my friend Jen Serafino, if I'm saying it right, she's a good tattoo lady. She's a lover of tattoos, has amazing ones, but I think she would really dig this. Hello, Roberta.
Hi,
Roberta. We love you.
I love you.
Michelle, you are very sweet. You're one of the sweetest souls. Thank you.
MK for you right now.
Oh my God, Faith, I am such a dork. Like, so hopefully that doesn't, disappoint you, because
It's in
you
a
ever meet
good
people
way.
who see me all the time,
Yeah.
especially Brian, I can't help it, but I try to not be. But okay, this tattoo, where did you get the idea, and what was behind it?
Okay. So I was investigating symbols, for that, and I was planning to make kind of a little Girl Scout badge,
Hi, Amy.
small tattoo.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't go through life wanting to have a tattoo. It was just, that was the last thing. It was like a badge of achievement. I did all these things. I'm going to do this last, right? And
a very nice bookend to your
exactly.
adventures.
And so about halfway through, I had been looking at that Celtic double spiral, like the infinite one. And I really liked the spiral because it, across cultures and religions and nations and times, it's always positive. I couldn't find anything negative.
Oh, wonderful.
And it actually is the symbol for my publishing company that I started, because I want to investigate the intersection of chaos and order. And so that's kind of how I saw it.
And what's the publishing company called?
Spiral.
Perfect.
Right here. It's there.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so when I lost a fourth friend, I went home and that is awesome.
Sorry, I'm laughing about the dork stuff.
Yeah. All the best people.
You guys are nice.
I had somebody tell me one time, "You're such a nerd, Jene." And then he stopped. He's one of the coolest people I know. He stopped and he was like, "No, you don't even rate nerd. You're a dork."
You're a dork.
I was like, "Yeah."
All the best people are dorks.
Yes.
Embrace the inner outer dork.
Dorks unite. How do you?
Now I have what's the Anchorman? There's some sort of dork joke in that my brain goes to, but
I
I'll
want to see the 14 tattoos.
And Andrea, MKGO stock and Mary Kay Cosmetics. I should, but I'd rather have stock in Michael Kors.
Oh.
And I want all his things that have the MK on it. But I love makeup, so. Faith, the 14 tattoos, that's awesome.
So mine is
sorry,
no, it's okay, it's good. I like this. I like them. They're fun.
I do this in person too, don't I?
bet. I do too.
All the whole weekend.
It's kind of scary.
Okay.
It's good. We're synergistically connected. So I came home to my then husband. I'm single. It was not the book, just FYI. He's a great guy. We're still good friends. And I said, I want to quit. I did not plan on losing friends, and this is not what this is about, and I'm not, this is ridiculous. And he said, well, you told me at the beginning that you had to do this. It's well, yeah. And he said, so why? You told me you had to do it. You
so
have to do it. Yeah. And I said, well, I feel like I've started this storm that I can't get out of, and I have to get through it to be okay with my life, but I'm stuck out here. Instead of, I just want to find the I. And so I was at Poor Richard's, this local place in Colorado Springs. It was summer, and I was writing the next day. And when I get ideas, they tend to be globular and fully formed, like one of those things. Yeah. And I just started drawing on my toe. And there's a spiral on my toe.
Yeah.
It was just with a ballpoint, and I just drew it. And it was I want to be in the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
So it goes from my toe to my back. Here, you can do that. Pull that down.
Oh yeah, can you guys?
Yeah.
You can see the big spiral there. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So it goes all the way up.
All the way up the leg side of your
Up my
hip
right
around.
leg, and then it doesn't
Waist.
go anywhere weird. Not weird. No judgment.
All those places are the best places.
But yeah,
I'm just saying.
It is. Yeah, but ouch.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So then that's the tattoo you ended up getting. I love it.
It couldn't be anything else.
It's an all-encompassing journey.
And the cover is really about becoming real, a real girl, and vulnerable, and
I've always loved
open.
it. I've always loved it. Yeah. Well, you guys, I know we've had you. Do you have anything else you want to add? Fly your freak flag. That's right.
Fly your freak flag.
Your MK bag died.
Oh, sorry.
That is really sad, Megan.
I want to see your tattoos, Faith.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of where to get one. I have two. I got one from my friend Cameron Claire for a going away present because she's amazing. And then Brian, I have this amazing one that's like a stone gray color. Anyway, we totally digress because that's what I do. So I'm sorry. So
I like them.
And there's one more question. I do want to let you guys go. I try not to make these too long, and then look, I just keep talking.
Right.
Where's your most painful place to get tattooed?
Ribs. There's one stripe, and then behind your knees.
Oh.
And on my ankle.
Yeah, it would be hard.
That hurt. Yeah, tender.
Bags made of seat belts, so they live forever.
I was like putting that tattoo.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, you guys. So Roberta says, "Add another hug. Gotta go, but love you guys both so much." This is for you, Roberta. We love you, girl. Okay, so you guys, the Oat Project by Jené Jackson. I'm gonna put the links to her Facebook page. And the book down in the comments, and I'll even do another additional post, so if you have trouble looking through there, just look on my page or on my Facebook author page. They'll be in both places. And it was a pleasure. This has been so amazing because I miss all of you guys. You guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We love these chats, you know I do. And Faith says, and ticklish in those spots.
All right.
It's that whole pleasure pain thing.
It is.
All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. We will talk to you soon. I will be back next week with Brian. He's always for a good, fun time.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
All right, I'm done. Jason says, Dad, I heard that. Shout out to Brian.
Nice.
I'll tell Brian that you guys said hello. All right, bye, Susan. Bye, Amy.
I'll see you soon. Soon, Susan.
Oh, Andrea, Stephanie, I love her. She is like, I just want to put her in a ball and stick her in a pocket, but feed her once in a while, but just so I can hug her whenever I want to. She's amazing. Stephanie St. Clair. It's another amazing romance writer to check out.
Okay.
She rocks. Yeah. I'm so glad you were here, Andrea. Hopefully I'm getting that name right, or I'm going to make myself not eat peanut butter for a month, and then that would make me sad because I really love it. Loved hanging out with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for sharing your amazing book and your story with us.
Likewise.
And I can't wait to hear from you guys. Check out the book and let her know what you think, okay? Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Andrea. Yes. I was valedictorian in high school. You would never believe it after this conversation. Good night, Jason. Bye, you guys.